Like Don
And it's
said,
new for you, not for them. They've got the same runners.
you're going to see all of this tomorrow morning on the squad. Watch it. Don said today that as long as they don't get injuries next year, Chelsea are going to challenge for all 4 trophies they're competing in next year with this.
No
manager.
way he said that. No way he said that. No way he said. Did he really say that?
Yeah, he said as long as they don't get injuries and they buy well, which they're looking. You look at the players they're linked to; they look like they're going to buy well. We have a good summer window, which he thinks they will, and we don't get major injuries. We are going to compete on all 4 fronts. But I believe that's because Don is drinking the PR Kool-Aid. Does that make sense? And it's about balance here. I sort of feel like they could improve next year. They could be a better football inside, but compete on all 4 fronts from where you were. I almost feel like you're almost setting yourselves up for failure before you've even started. And that's where I look at it. And I swear to you, that's what he said. You'll all see it. The squad comes out. If you're not following our squad channel, the link's in our description of this video. So go and subscribe. It's out tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. He said it today. And it was crazy to me. It was crazy that he said that. Not because they won't improve. I think they could improve this year. They're linked to some really good players. I like how Enzo plays football. But the way the club are saying he's going to fix the Enzo conundrum, he's going to get us back to the top of this, I sort of sit there and I'm like, there's a bit too much talk. Again, reflection. If we sign a new manager, say it is De Zerbi, and the last thing I want to hear our ownership say is we're here to knock down the Pep era, we're here to take back over European football. I actually want us to say fuck all. I want us to remain very level-headed and say it's a process. It's going to take time. Equally, I'm not going to drink that Kool-Aid and be like, yeah, in 5 years, if we're not winning anything, I'm going to be happy. It's about not putting too much pressure upon yourself. And I think that's what Chelsea are doing here, is you're building the pressure. And fans help build the pressure. Pundits help build the pressure. You start coming out and saying we're challenging on all 4 fronts. This man's right. He's going to unlock Enzo Fernandez. We're going to be amazing. That's where Staffy's right. If it starts going wrong, the banter comes in, the panic comes in, the fallout begins, and then it's going to be very hard for an inexperienced manager to recover. So you've got to get it so spot on.
And give him so much pressure already, and that's what I wouldn't want for a young upcoming manager. Because he's not young like that. He's 44, so he's still that's a decent age for a manager. But when I say upcoming, it's like in his career, he's never been in these situations before. He's young within like. Yeah. Exactly. So it's like his best experience is taking a Leicester team to the Premier League, which is pretty decent. But he's young in terms of his career with dealing with the situations. And that's the last thing I would want to put on my manager. I don't want my manager coming in and right away I'm given expectations to deliver. Not because I don't hold the standards. I've been accused of being standards FC, and I do talk about standards, so I won't be a hypocrite. But I'm also very aware of where I am. Self-awareness is very important. And I feel like, unfortunately, if Don said that, Don, your self-awareness, I'm sorry, bro, I got to question it. Because football is not black and white like that. You can't just say because Poch fucked up against Burnley and fucked up against Sheffield, that would have been additional points for us to finish the top 4. No, because you could equally look at some games where Poch managed a good game and Nico Jackson wasn't finishing his dinner and you were having the most big chances missed in the league. You can look at that and be like, you know what? With better players, we could have been a top 4. And this is why what Terry's saying is spot on. You guys, I believe most of you guys who are speaking like that will set up this manager for failure. The last thing I would be doing if I'm a Chelsea fan right now is saying that Maresca is 100% going to get us to compete. He's 100% going to get us in top 4. He's 100% going to get us to the Europa League. I think he'll make you better, but it's just how better can you get? And I don't think you'll get that much better, at least in the first year. I'm willing to concede if that happens, but the likelihood of him right away getting you a guaranteed top 4, competing for all trophies, winning you the Europa League, I wouldn't, as I said, I wouldn't bet my house on it.
Yeah, and standards, I sort of said this to Don, you'll all see it on the show tomorrow. Big up Don, big up Don, big up Don. Why he says here, why are you guys acting like top 4 is a title challenge? Top 4 and challenge for all trophies with the quality we have, plus we'll add in the summer, hopefully is more than reasonable.
The Prem is a trophy, Don. So if you're challenging for all trophies, surely it's a title challenge.
I think he's saying to get top 4 and challenge for all the other trophies.
Oh, Conference, League
Yeah.
Cup,
Oh
FA
yeah, conference.
Cup.
I forgot they're not in Europa League. I said
Yeah,
Europa
yeah,
League.
yeah.
All
They're
right,
in the conference.
League.
Yeah,
Yeah, you better win that
listen,
conference league.
I just sort of, again, I think it's, look, if Don thinks that, Don believes it, and is absolutely entitled to his opinion. I just think there is a little bit too much faith in how good this squad is now.
Blind faith.
Oh, I can't wait.
A little. It's going to be interesting to see sort of the direction it goes in. But if you are like Don, though, and I did say this to him on the show, if you are behind Maresca, cool, but you've got to be behind what he is. So I don't think you can be behind him and have a 3-strike rule, and then by Christmas he's made those 3 mistakes, and he says he's got to go. He's going to make mistakes. He's a fledgling manager. Doesn't matter that he worked for Pep. Doesn't matter that he was in the Championship. He is going to make mistakes because he's 1 year in, 2 years, if you count a bit of Palmer, into being a manager or a head coach of a big football club. And it's the first time he's managed a giant football club. He is going to make mistakes. Chelsea fans, to help him
achieve those standards he's set for, if he doesn't get top 4 on challenge for all the other trophies, what if now you've said that that's what he's going to do? If he doesn't, and then is it Maresca out? That's what I want to know, because you're putting this big expectation on him for his first season. Has he got to meet them? Are you going to accept a season of finishing 7th? You know what I mean, and build on it.
This is what's gonna happen, Lawless, and this is my prediction. All the ones that were Poch are now gonna be like, "See, we told you so." It's not Poch. It wasn't Poch's issue, and now they're gonna go Maresca out to be in spite of people like Don and Ches who wanted Poch out. Yes. That's the last thing you should want in your fan base. Terry, we've suffered that for years. Remember, we'd always talk about people who like Martial hated Rashford. People who liked Rashford hated Martial. They never coexisted. That's going to be the same thing with the manager.
And that's why I keep saying to Chelsea fans, I'm not trying to like shit on your club. I'm seeing parallels of what happened at my football club. And it's people, a lot of people now in the football discourse, it's not about being your club being better. It's about them being right. They want to be right more so than their club improve. And they're going to be people that are going to be gunning for it not to go well. And I remember when Jose got sacked, and I put out a tweet and said about a month into Ollie, and I'd said the Jose in, Jose out era is not over. I got attacked for it. When Ollie was sacked and Ralph came in, I tweeted the Ollie in, Ollie out campaign isn't over. It just moves on to the next manager. And for me, it's very much a case of, I think Chelsea could improve. I think there's things for them to be excited about. But I think Chelsea fans have got to try and control the narrative a bit better. I think they have to remain a bit more resolute together. And both sides have got to stop setting ridiculously high expectations for one another and just let it play out a little bit. And I know you'll get Standard FC that will say, no, you've got to have the highest standards every minute of every single day. You can have those standards, but you have to understand you've got a young squad and now a young manager, and you're not going to be able to be Real Madrid next season. You are not going to be peak Real Madrid next year. So to have those standards for next year is fucking stupid.
But this is the thing. It's I can understand being hopeful, but to talk with the certainty, like Don is, right? To talk with that certainty of we're going to do this when you've got a new manager who's young, who's untested. I understand Don says, I've done my research. You do all the research you want, but you can't. You got to tell me you have some apprehension, some uncertainty. You can't have your chest out this much and be this certain over a manager like Maresca coming in. Yes, like you said, Don, obviously, if we had injuries last season, if we had all our players fit and we got good results against the top 6 teams and we struggled against the lower teams so we can just beat them next season, everything would be hunky-dory. No, this is a new situation for Chelsea. There's uncertainty. So surely you must be uncertain. I don't know. I just don't see where the chest is coming from.
Yeah, where I agree with you, it's, I don't know. You guys ever watched Lethal Weapon?
Yeah.
I always remember there was a case they were working on, great movies. And there was a case they were working on in one of the movies, and it was solved really quickly. And they both sat there one evening. They were outside Danny Glover's house, Murtaugh's house. And it's just too neat. It's just too easy. It's just too neat. We've concluded this case too quickly, too neat, too easy. That's how I feel a little bit about it. Doesn't mean you're not going to get better. I'm actually not writing the guy off. There's too many Chelsea fans that are like, yeah, we're fixed. And I just think, how do you know? How do you know you're already fixed? It's a bit premature, is what I would say.
And that's been my argument all season, Terry, that even though Poch has been underperforming, getting rid of Poch will be the first step. There's so many steps to follow. And the fact that just they think it's like this, it's magic. We got rid of him. We got a better manager. It's over. I have bad news for you. It will be a very similar season if you remain with some of the same players. You 100% still need to go into the summer, address some issues that you have in your teams, get some of these signings, and then you have to be patient and wait for the manager to implement his style of play with these players that already exist, plus the new players that need time to adapt with the club. I'm sorry, Don, you're not competing for all these trophies like you said.
He will then say, but we did it this year. They got to a semi-final. They got to a final. What would your rebuttal to that be?
Look at our season. We competed for the trophy last season. You remember, Terry. I told you what? I told you I don't think we'll improve this season. Because everyone thought it was this easy to say, well, we got Mount. Mount is better than Ericsson at this age. We signed, who else did we sign in the summer? We signed Mount and we got Onana, but Onana passes better than De Gea, so we'll automatically build better from the back and we'll have more possession. So they start doing the math and they're like, yeah, they will compete for the league. I'm like, it's really not that easy to implement all these first teamers into a new team and try to implement a style of play and praying for everything else to be okay around it, aka injuries and suspensions and personal issues and all that. The likelihood of all that happening at the same time is very, very low. And progression is not linear like that. Like if you ever look at Terry, obviously you worked at banking and you understand finances. Sometimes when you look at a stock of anything, if you look at the bigger picture, it will show like a line that's like this. But if you deep down and you look at yearly and monthly, and you'll see that the line goes up and goes down, goes up and goes down. And this could be a season that you go down, but eventually go up. Or this season could have been the season you went down to go up.
It doesn't just
go linear like that.
Yeah. There's always peaks and troughs like that.